The new year has just begun and there is just no more time for you to start messing around. You need to fix up your act and make sure that you adapt these new habits into your daily lifestyle so that you can become a more productive person and that they become more beneficial to you achieving your success. If you implement these habits into your daily life, you're going to achieve all of the results that you're looking for this year. So make sure that you stick around to watch 3 of these habits and one more for the benefit of you guys as well. So let's start by talking about reading. If you don't start reading this year, I can't explain it enough how you're going to become a failure. You're not going to be able to succeed, and that's because you're not going to be learning. If you're not constantly learning every single day and you're not absorbing any knowledge, then you're falling behind and you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities. The best way that you can guarantee yourself that you're learning every single day is by simply just picking up a book and reading it. You're simply not going to have enough time for you to experience every single step of every single journey that you take. Now, that is a benefit of reading a book, which no one talks about. You can quite literally just read the best bits of other people's experiences and absorb everything that they've experienced. That way, not only are you saving time, but also peace of mind because you're not having to go through all of those trials and tribulations yourself. Now, if you don't know where to begin with that, don't worry, we have you guys covered. Very soon, we're going to be dropping 2 videos for you guys, one from me and one from Parsa, where we recommend our top 5 books of the previous year of 2023. So make sure that you subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss those videos out. It's a must watch and you guys should have a great place to start off if you don't know what 5 books or what singular book you should start your journey off with. Now in 2023, we saw the rise of TikTok and social media in terms of short form content, and that was wasting every single second that you had spare of your previous year. So we're going to change that this year, 2024. Now, I was a victim of this in the last year as well. Sometimes I would just see myself going on TikTok or on Instagram every spare second that I had. And sometimes when I would just close the app and get rid of it, I would instinctively click on the app to open it even though I've just gotten off of it. It's just through muscle memory and repetition, and we need to cut that out. Now, like any other addiction, the only way that you can cut it out completely is to replace it with something else. And that is exactly what we're going to do with the second step, micro-learning. Now, what micro-learning means is that you simply spend 2 to 5 minutes of your time learning something or a given topic that you've chosen. It needs to be in bite-sized chunks so that when you are going to be learning those, it's not going to be taking too much of your time or focus. It needs to be very quick fire and it needs to be almost in a bullet form type out. That way you could easily soak you up and carry on with the rest of your day as if like you just had those spare few minutes to spend on it. Now soon, without even realizing, all of these 2 to 5 minute intervals that you're spending learning on your given subject will add up. Now over time, you would have looked back and seen how much time you would have spent on a given subject, and that would have built up to maybe 10 or even hundreds of hours. Now you could look at your given subject and see that you know quite a lot of information about that. And that leads us perfectly onto our third topic, picking up a hobby. Now this might seem extremely plain and basic at face value, and some of you might even laugh at it. But trust me, a lot of people just don't see the benefits of this and are not doing it anymore. Once you have a solid understanding in a given subject, it's time to take it to the next level. And now you should actually be spending lots of time and dedicate your entire craft to it. I see too many people nowadays that are just going about their day-to-day life without having any interest or hobbies in something meaningful or even something that's interesting or even respectable. Now, the majority of people are turning around these days and saying that my hobby is playing video games or watching movies, or even in some cases, they're like spending money shopping or even going out partying as a hobby. These quote-unquote hobbies that I just listed cannot be talked about openly with a stranger as your first topic of conversation, because they're not something that's meaningful. They're not something that's respectable amongst others. However, let's change that for something that's a little bit more highly respected. Like, for example, anything that's artistic or craftsmanship. For example, something like music. Imagine you knew how to play an instrument. Or imagine if it was something skilled like fishing or even photography. Something that you could actually show people your work and present all of the achievements that you've got so far. Any hobby that requires skill to master and doesn't show a clear sign of laziness is something that you should be aiming for. If you were able to pick up that hobby, you will see that it will take change of your life immediately. Your entire mindset will change about how you do that skill and also how you do things just in your life every day on a day-to-day basis. Now, if I were to give you guys an ultimate advice, is that if you were to take only one thing from this video, it's that you take away this point from here. Make sure that you can adapt a hobby that's respectable. And finally, just as a bonus, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you're going to be missing out on all of the useful content like this one that we produce on a weekly basis. Now, since the year is starting and it is 2024, we're going to make out this year's mission to make sure that we're uploading more consistently with higher quality as we strive every single day. We have great things planned for the year coming in 2024, and if you are not subscribed with those turn notifications turned on, you're going to be missing out on all of it. Now, I know that some of you guys are extremely eager to start this year on a high note, and that means that you cannot wait for our next upload, which is a great sign. Now, we have previously uploaded a lot of useful content that's still very effective and applicable to this year as well. So make sure that you go on the channel and you check out all of those as well. Before you go away, make sure to drop a like on this video because it does help us out a lot. And as always, stay traditional.